Hi, it's Anthony, and today I wanted to quickly go over how I built this retro couch. This is one of the early finished products. This is it with red. I had a bunch of furniture that I had to build really quickly this week, so I was trying to find all the possible shortcuts to get stuff done as quickly as possible. So I started off with this cube. I put a couple of segments across the top and like that, and then I made it editable with the C key on the keyboard. Went to the point mode. I got the knife and made sure I was in loop mode, and come in here a little closer. What you want to do is cut two little cuts just up and down from the bottom there. Come over here to the polygon selection mode and select the whole top. Come over here to extrude inner and extrude inner, not very much, and then extrude, and you're going to actually go down for that. Okay, good. Then you're going to want to select all the odd squares up here, and then we're going to go to bevel. We're going to bevel those out about 2 centimeters. Just call it 2. Type the 2 in over here. So it's exactly 2. And then select the other ones, the adjacent squares. And then you can just do new transform, and that will do the same exact thing as the previous transform. Okay, next we're going to push the sides in. So select one of the sides. Take the loop selection, select all the sides all around. Go to your scaling tool and just scale in a little bit like that. Go back to the knife tool, which is K on the keyboard, and put some slices in on the side there so we can bevel that up. Let's make some more slices across the top to shore up these corners. Here, 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 and let's maybe look at that. Here. We're also going to want to put some across the top. And I'm going to go right in the more or less the middle of each of these. Here, 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 and there. Yeah, that I think should be just about enough of that. Okay, let's drop our cube in a hypernerb, and let's take the subdivisions of the hypernerb and push that up to 3. And let's have a look at the basic cushion. Okay. Let's throw some fabric on there so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to put that on cubic, put 10% for 10%. Okay, it looks pretty good. It's a little flat, but we're going to add some modifiers next. Well, first, let's select the center points between the puffs and push those down. Let's see how far down we're going to push them. About 1/3 of the way should be good. Let's quickly see what that looks like. That looks okay. Let's have another look at the piping. It's okay, but it could be a little more pronounced. So let's use the loop selection tool and grab the inside ring of points and just push that down just a little teeny bit, kind of increase the crease, and just push it in. Okay, that's looking better. Let's do the same thing to the bottom. Let's use the loop selection tool, grab those points, squeeze that in a little bit, push it down a little bit. Let's grab the bottom row as ring as well and pull it up a little bit just to make it a little more obvious. Okay, it's a little exaggerated right now, but that's okay. Let's grab the FFD modifier. Make the size the same size that we made the pillow. Pull the modifier up right around the pillow. Let's make some segments. Let's do 7 segments across the top to go over the existing bump and between the existing bump. And let's do 7 that way. Okay, good. Let's select the center points above the existing bumps. And if the axis gets in your way, the key command for making that go away is Alt-D. And that'll disappear temporarily, and you can bring it back by Alt-D. Let's pull these out a little bit. I think that's okay. Yeah. I find that the button actually really tells the story. So this part doesn't need to be too exaggerated. Let's come across the sides and pull the sides out a bit. Like so. And tuck, 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 like so. Spin this around. It's a little dark back here. That's just the lighting setup I have. I just put a basic super basic light setup back on the stage so that I can just see what I'm doing when I do previews. Let's pull this out a little bit more. That's good. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a little bit more like it. All right, let's rename this cushion. Spin this down. Let's make a sphere. Make that 2 centimeters. Pull it up so you can see it. Let's put that in that cloner. In the cloner, let's go to grid. Pull this down to 2 and 2. Just pull them in so you can see them. All right, let's try to locate them right on the intersections here and here. That's getting there. All right, let's go to transform and squish the ball down using the scale. And then we'll lower it into the fabric. Not all the way, because we still want to see the shadows around the edges. Down here I made the same fabric as the pillow, except for I made the button fabric a little shinier, just so the buttons would look a little more shiny. Let's have a look. That's not bad. Let's make that cubic. Let's go to 10 over 10 with that. It's looking pretty good. All right, let's start the couch. So let's group this together and call it cushion. Let's make a copy that we're going to save. We're going to attach that to a new layer. We're going to hide it so it's out of the way. Then we make this one editable, which should allow us to change the size of this without the buttons wandering off. Okay. Throw this in a cloner. Leave that on linear. Take the Y down to 0. Just walk these out in Z space. Let's have a look. Okay, not bad. Let's rename this cloner lower and make a copy. Let's call this one upper. Let's put the upper above the lower. Let's roll these around. And this is where the scaling becomes important, because we're going to squeeze these a bit. Slide this over. Kind of just work this until it matches up. Let's make a base for it to sit on. Make a cube, call it 60 by 60 by 60, just to see what we're doing. Stretch it out. That's about right. From the reference, it's just about as thick as the cushion. So let's push it down. Get that into position. Put a fillet in it. Make that 0.5. Let's make that a little smaller. Okay, let's do the fabric on there. Make it cubic, do 10 over 10. Okay, all right, let's make the sides. Make a cube and make it 60 by 60 by 60, just to see where we're going, and then kind of pull it out of the ground. I think from the reference, it looks like it's about 2/3 of the height. And in terms of thickness, I guess around 12. Stick that down the end like so, and let's have a look. It's got to be a little wider, because this has got to be behind the back cushion. Then that back cushion could be a little straighter up, a little straightened out. Okay, and then this side should be about 2/3 of the way up, and so that looks about right. Okay, so now what we're going to do to the side is very similar to what we did to the cushion. So let's make this cube editable. We'll call it the side. We'll call this the base. Come along with the knife tool, which is the K on the keyboard. And let's make 2 small slices near the edge in the front. And then select the whole side. Do a extrude inner, pull that in. and then an extrude, and then pull that in, and then a bevel, and that bevel's not going to be too big. Come over here and collect these faces. Get the scale tool, scale that in, and then pull that a little tighter. Well, I pulled it in already, so let's just press it back to the edge a little bit so it squares it a little bit. But first, let's go ahead and cut it up a little bit more. Let's say we cut it here, 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 and here, and here, here. Throw that in a hypernerve and see what we have. Okay, all right. Let's put a little bit more knife action closer to the corners. So let's slice it. Make sure you're in point mode. And let's make sure that's selected. Slice close to the corner. And close to the corner. And let's see what we have. It looks a little soft for our piping. Let's use the loop selection tool and grab that last line before the curve and scale that down and push it over so that edge comes out a little more clearly. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Scale it down, push it over. Let's have a look. All right, well, that looks a little bit like a lot at the moment, but let's see how it looks with the fabric. The fabric is pretty forgiving, actually. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking for. We can always make it better, but my goal was to make 12 pieces of furniture in one day. Plus the environment was huge, so by the time the camera flew through it, any amount of over detailing was just for sport, and I didn't have time for that. So let's double that up and pull that down. And that's looking pretty good. And let's see if we can get this a little better. We want everything to be more or less flush to the front. With our reference, we also have these round pillows. So let's put these on the X, make them, I don't know, 10, maybe 50. They're supposed to fit on the couch and be a little smaller than the side. So that's basically it right there. Let's get in here so we can see. We're going to do basically the same exact technique. So let's grab the front, grab the inner extrude, pull that in, let's extrude that in. Let's do the bevel, pull that out. Let's get the knife tool, cut 2 little lines in the front for the piping. Let's get in a little closer. I mean, we want to try to do this fast, but we want to try to do it as nice as possible. So get where you can really see good. There and there. Get the live selection tool. Make sure select visible elements is unchecked. Select all these middle parts. Use the transform scale tool and pull that in and push it over. Go to the bevel it out just a little bit. Throw the cylinder in a hypernerve. See what it looks like. Not great, but let's throw some fabric on there. Okay. In a perfect world, I think I'd like to see that fabric going in the other direction, but let's rename that round. So I'll make a copy, slide this down here to the end of the couch, see that it's fitting okay. All right. Let's create quickly a cube. Let's make it 2 by 10 by 2. Just pull this out, make it a little taller. Let's have a look. I'm just eyeballing the size of it. It doesn't matter really where we put it. It's gonna go in a cloner in a second. I just want to see what we're doing. Let's get that above ground. Let's put one height segment in. Let's put a fillet on that. 0.5 should be adequate. Okay, I think we're going to make the top bigger. Let's make the cube editable. Let's select all the above points and just scale that out a bit so it's just a little bit bigger. Let's pull this out of the ground a little bit more. Let's find a wood. Let's throw a wood material on there. Take the specular off. Let's back out a little bit. Check out the color. All right, let's throw that in a cloner. We're going to go for the grid. Pull those together and get the 6 legs. There's 6 legs on this couch, so we'll get those situated where they look like they're supposed to be. A little tighter on the inside. It's looking pretty good across the front. Let's see how that looks. Let's grab the whole thing, put it in a group. Call it sofa. Pick the whole thing up so it's sitting on the ground. Let's see what it's looking like. They look like, those legs look like they're a little on the little side. So let's make these legs a little bit bigger. Just grab the legs and just scale it up so they're a little thicker. Put those down a little bit. Let's pull the whole unit up a little bit. Those cushions across the back look a bit funny. Let's walk those out a little bit further. Yeah, that's it. And then squish the whole thing down a little bit. Get those situated where they're supposed to be. Okay, that's it. Super quick retro couch. Looks pretty good, I think, for a quick one. It looks all right. My stage is hidden in the background. It is just 3 basic lights, a disc, and a background composited together. And then this color just controls the scene lighting, so I can make it lighter just to see what's up. And then yeah, but I actually prefer it kind of darker. It just helps me see the objects. I'll warm that up a little bit and see what that looks like. Okay. Yeah, it's not. It's not exactly like the one before it, but that's typical. I mean, you do it fast, they don't come out exactly the same. every single time, and that's okay too when you're building a big scene full of furniture. So that's it. I hope that was helpful, and thanks very much for watching.